What kind of madman takes these lovely white shoes for their first run in the rain? The Adidas Adizero, no. The Adidas Adizero Pro 2, no. Adidas Adizero Adios 6. Now I know what it's called, just about, but goodness, does somebody in the Adidas department want to make it as complicated as possible for runners to know what shoes they've got in their lineup. Took the Adidas Adios 6 for its first run today in the rain. I know, what kind of maniac takes a lovely white shoe like this out for a run in the rain? But I think it survived quite nicely. I didn't get anything, there's a little bit of a mark over here, but other than that, we're all good. I'm gonna attach that run here. So I've just finished work and I've been literally buzzing all day because I know that at home waiting for me is the new Adidas Adios 6. The shoes have arrived. They normally come in a black box. This is a new looking box for me. Oh yeah. Look at that. Retro. That's well cool. What do you reckon? Old chunk of Lightstrike in the back and underneath the forefoot, and then the Lightstrike Pro just underneath the midfoot and forefoot. I think it's going to be dangerous. I went for these in a size 11.5. I'm normally an 11 in most other shoes, like Nike and Saucony and all that kind of thing. As you can see, my toes come up to here. So I think I made the right decision going for an 11.5. I think 11 would fit, but it would be snug. What a wet one that was, but enjoyable. So 12-hour shift done, 4.25 miles done in the Adidas Adizero Adios 6. These names do not confuse me or anyone in the slightest, obviously. So, as always, my first three thoughts after a run. Definitely positive, responsive, grippy, and stable, I think. We'll go with them. And we'll put together a more detailed initial run review in a bit. So I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I really enjoyed this shoe today. 12-hour shift at work, and then got out, put this on in the rain, and went out and did a bit of a progressive run. 4.25 miles, an average pace of about 6:48. Oh, I am really excited to be talking about this shoe. I do love an Adidas shoe. I love Lightstrike Pro and I love Lightstrike, and I just love how this is a complete reimagination of the Adio line, or the typical Adio line, like the Adio 5, 4 and all that kind of thing, which I did run in the 4 and I did run in the 5. So I was really excited to see what this is like. What do you think? Let me know. Do you think this looks really cool? and sort of retro and awesome looking, or you're one of them people that look at this and think it looks absolutely horrible. There is no right or wrong answer. Just let me know in the comments, I'd be really interested. Also, is this something you'll be looking at getting, or will you be saving your money more for the Boston 10 or the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 2 or the Prime X, all these names? Who can keep up to date with the names? Let me know in the comments below. In terms of the stats, this weighs in my size 11.5 at 289 grams, which puts it slightly heavier than the Adidas Adizero, not Adios Pro, which does have the carbon plate in it. This is designed to be like your tempo run day, your interval run day, that kind of thing. And I can definitely see that after my first run in today. In terms of sizing, I did go up half a size in this shoe. I went up to a UK 11.5. I normally go for size 11 in most shoes, but in Adidas I normally go half a size up. I think I would have got away with a size 11. However, I do think 11.5 is preferable for me in this case. So just bear that in mind when you're ordering it. You might want to go half a size up from your, say, Nike type shoe or something like that. In terms of stack height, we've got 27mm of foam in the back and 19mm of foam in the front, giving us an 8mm heel to toe drop. So we start off with the upper. We've got a very airy and breathable mesh upper here, which felt great today. It wasn't a hot day, but it's definitely going to be super breathable. There are loads and loads and loads and loads of perforations there. Plenty of air there for your foot to get cool down when it's nice and hot. In terms of the tongue, we do have a fully gusseted tongue that doesn't connect all the way down, but just at the top. So it keeps the tongue in place nicely, and it's sat really nicely on top of my toes today. In terms of the lacing, we've got basic lace structure here. But the laces were fine. They were a little bit short, so maybe if you want to do the runner's knot, they might not be perfect for you. But they was fine for me today. And in terms of overall lockdown, the heel support area was great. We've got again a nice rigid heel at the back here. You can see me putting a lot of force into that, and it's not really moving, which I think is good. A lot of padding around here, just a little bit of decorative rubber around here, I guess, or not rubber, but whatever that is, weird kind of material. Really good initial lockdown from this. Once I put it on, I did need to tie it a little bit more, but I normally do that in every shoe just because my plantar fasciitis, and make sure the shoe is all locked in. But yeah, a good lockdown from it in the tongue, in the heel, on the midfoot, all good. Some suede areas here. I think that's more for looks than anything else. And a little bit of structure around the back here, again structured around here just to give you a little bit of support from the heel area. So in terms of the midsole, we've got a sort of Nike Pegasus Turbo 2 style midsole going on here. We have got Lightstrike in the heel and running underneath the forefoot here, and then Lightstrike Pro in the front. So those of you that aren't familiar with the Adios 6 or the Adios 5 range, they normally have boost in the back here, and then sort of just recently I've had Lightstrike in the front, but completely got rid of boost now, and now we've got Lightstrike in the back, and as I said, Lightstrike Pro here. So Lightstrike Pro is their new super duper foam that they've got in things like the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro and Adios Pro 2, which is super responsive, but not really, really squishy. It's squishier than the Lightstrike, but not really, really squishy. Not like sort of Zoom X kind of squishy or the Invincible feeling squishy, but a responsive, good, nice kind of feeling. The Lightstrike itself is a lot firmer, but in a sort of stable, responsive kind of way, not kind of like a dead brick kind of way. In terms of what this felt like to run in today, it was really, really fun to run in. I am a forefoot to midfoot striker myself, so I'm landing in the absolute sweet spot here of where this shoe wants you to land with, where the sort of Lightstrike and Lightstrike Pro sandwich sort of thing is going on here. And it just is so bouncy and responsive, but also quite firm, but not really, really firm. So it's firm for me in an enjoyable kind of way, and like a responsive, wanting to pick up the pace and keep you moving kind of way, rather than like a firm, dead Nike Pegasus 38 style firm, which I didn't really enjoy. If you're a heel striker, I still think you're going to get a good level of support here. I did try to run a little bit on my heel today. It's just not very natural for me, but it didn't feel too bad when I was running on the heel. And as I say, Lightstrike itself is still quite responsive, but as you can see, it's quite a dense foam. It's stable, as I said. You can see here that there's quite a lot of sort of rigidity in the shoe. And that brings me on to, so we haven't got any carbon plates in here. The Boston 10 is going to have some carbon rods. The Adizero Pro 2 and 1 do have carbon rods in them as well. On now to the outsole. This is where it gets really, really exciting, I think. We've got a load of rubber going on here, a load of rubber here, and all this sort of cool aesthetic design going on here. It is so grippy. It's got the Continental rubber there, but it really is, it's one of the words I used to describe it after my run today. It is super grippy and super tacky. It was raining, it was wet outside today, and I didn't feel like I was going anywhere slipping wise in this shoe. Really grippy, awesome grip out here. So in terms of this, what this is here, this is the torsion system. So this is basically just like a solid piece of plastic that runs up here and up here, and it basically adds a bit of rigidity and stability, like natural stability to the shoe. So it's not a plate as such, but it just kind of acts to sort of keep the foot moving as one, rather than sort of falling in on itself. So again, for the outsole, really good, really enjoyable. I just really had a good time running this shoe today. I just sort of, when I was running in it, I was just enjoying myself. I was thinking this is fun. In terms of what is this shoe designed for, as I said, this shoe is like a tempo run day shoe, or interval type shoe. Other shoes that are in this category would be things like the Adidas Adizero, not Adizero Pro, this one itself just has the Lightstrike in it, not Lightstrike Pro, but a carbon fibre plate. But they're the same sort of thing, like a low stack height tempo daily trainer. And I mean, you've got loads of other shoes that fall in this category too. You could put the Puma Liberate Nitro in it. You could put the Hyperion Tempo in it. You could put loads of different shoes, the Reebok Run Fluss too. But the major pros and cons, like we always do, the pros for me are just the foam. I think this sort of combination of Lightstrike Pro and Lightstrike is absolutely awesome and something that I'm really excited about. Just bouncy, just poppy and responsive. Another one is just the sort of, as I said, the stable. The three first words that came to mind is nice and stable around here with this heel area nice and firm, and also with the torsion system, and also obviously in terms of a pro, it's got to be this super duper grip. It is awesome. You're basically going to be like Spider-Man running this shoe. You're not going to fall off of anywhere. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I just find it so grippy. In terms of a con, not really anything major. I suppose that there's some other interval shoes out there that have got a plate in it, so it might feel a little bit more snappy, but I mean, I just feel this is really responsive, and it's not a super heavy shoe, but it's definitely not like the lightest tempo interval day out there, especially compared to like the Liberate or anything like that. So as always, no scoring except an initial Running Man Sam overall first impression shoe that's shoe score that's not based on anything other than how I enjoyed the shoe, how I was feeling, and what sort of things I was thinking when I was running in it today. And I'm going to give this an 8.7 out of 10, which is the highest I've ever scored a shoe so far in this new scoring system. I just really enjoyed it. It just sort of, it put me in a good mood. It sort of brought my running back to life a little bit. I've been feeling a little bit stale these last few days since my jab and a couple of races, and it just put a little bit of fun back into it. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to be looking forward to putting a lot more miles in this shoe. Really enjoyed this today. As always, I've been Running Man Sam. This has been a super duper shoe review, and I'll see you guys in a bit.